Welcome to New Mexico. They say the Earth speaks in silence, but in New Mexico, it sings. Through lava flows, desert winds, and the echoes of ancient footsteps. For more than 13,000 years, people have walked this land. Hunting, farming, building, and dreaming. This isn't just a place on the map, it's a living museum of geology, culture, and raw natural power. Imagine volcanoes frozen mid-eruption, cliffs carved into homes, and deserts that glimmer like alien planets. New Mexico doesn't shout for attention. It doesn't need to. Its beauty is quiet, strange, and unforgettable. This is where stories are told in stone, where science meets spirit, and where time moves differently. It's for the explorers, the wanderers, and the curious souls who aren't afraid to leave the beaten path. So buckle in and bring your sense of wonder. Because this trip through New Mexico, it's anything but ordinary. Shiprock and Cove Arch. Let's start with Shiprock, one of the most iconic sites in the state. Rising 482 meters, 1,583 feet from the desert floor, it looks like something straight out of a science fiction movie. That's no coincidence. This is the hardened core of a volcano that erupted around 30 million years ago. The softer rock around it eroded away, leaving behind a jagged spire of black volcanic breccia and dramatic radiating dikes that stretch across the land like stone roads. But Shiprock isn't just a geological marvel. It's sacred to the Navajo Nation, who call it Tse Bitai, meaning the rock with wings. According to Navajo oral tradition, a giant bird carried the people to safety on its back, landing at Shiprock. Because of its spiritual importance, climbing it has been banned since 1970. Even from a distance, its power is palpable. It commands the landscape and your imagination. Nearby, Cove Arch adds a quieter magic. It's a natural freestanding arch formed from the same ancient volcanic system. Nestled at the base of Shiprock's southern slope, the arch has long been referenced in Navajo stories as a place of shelter or ritual. Some elders believe that on certain days, the arch casts a shadow that resembles a wing, echoing the legend of the great bird. Few tourists ever make it here, and those who do often speak of an overwhelming sense of stillness, as if the land itself is holding its breath. The Biste/Dana Zin Wilderness. Ever wondered what it would be like to walk on another planet? The Biste/Dana Zin Wilderness comes pretty close. Located in northwestern New Mexico, this 18,000-acre landscape is filled with sculpted badlands, sandstone spires, petrified trees, and formations nicknamed cracked eggs for their unusual spherical shapes. The name itself is a mix of Navajo terms. Biste means a large area of shale hills, and Dana Zin means cranes standing in the field. This landscape was shaped by time, water, and ash. Around 70 million years ago, rivers and seas covered this area, depositing layers of sediment and volcanic ash. Over millennia, wind and rain chiseled the soft stone into today's bizarre topography. There are no signs, no visitor centers, just open land where you'll need a map, GPS, or guide to navigate. That's part of its appeal, complete freedom to roam. The science here is just as rich as the scenery. Paleontologists have found fossils of dinosaurs, ancient reptiles, and even Cretaceous-era plant life. With average summer highs around 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and chilly winters dipping below freezing. The wilderness also hosts desert flora like rabbit brush, sage, and scattered juniper. According to Navajo oral tradition, this area was once a battleground between sky beings and earth spirits, their clashes shaping the terrain. Some say you can still feel their energy at dusk, when long shadows bring the rocks to life. Chihuahuan Desert and Organ Mountains. Covering about 360,000 square kilometers, 140,000 square miles. The Chihuahuan Desert is the largest in North America and a huge part of southern New Mexico. It's an extreme environment with daytime temperatures over 38 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit in summer and freezing nights in winter. But it's also surprisingly full of life. You'll find creosote bushes, lechuguilla, ocotillo, and desert poppies. Plus animals like kit foxes, mule deer, and even the rare Mexican gray wolf. Amid this desert rise the Organ Mountains. Sharp, towering granite peaks that resemble organ pipes, hence the name. These spires are part of a fault block range formed about 32 million years ago. The tallest Organ Needle reaches 2,745 meters, 9,009 feet. Early Spanish explorers used the mountains for navigation, and miners later came looking for silver, lead, and copper, leaving behind ruins and tales of danger. Local Mescalero Apache legends speak of a mountain spirit named Mountain Old Man, said to guard sacred springs hidden among the cliffs. According to tradition, only those pure of heart can find the water. And those who lie or steal in the mountains may never return. Whether myth or warning, the rugged terrain feels like a place where stories could easily come to life. Today, the area is protected as the Organ Mountains Desert Peaks National Monument. It's a hiker's paradise, with trails winding through canyons and up high ridges. Spring and fall are the best times to visit, with milder temps and bursts of wildflowers. This part of New Mexico offers something rare, dramatic beauty that hasn't been overly tamed. White Sands National Park. White Sands feels like walking through a dream. Spanning over 580 square kilometers, 225 square miles, it's the world's largest gypsum dune field. The sand here is so pure and bright that it looks like snow. But unlike regular sand, gypsum doesn't absorb heat. So it stays cool to the touch, even when air temperatures soar past 38 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The dunes formed from ancient lakes that evaporated, leaving behind gypsum crystals blown into towering waves by the wind. Despite the harsh environment, life thrives here. You'll see yucca, lizards that blend into the white ground, and even tiny rodents adapted to this unique habitat. Look closer, and you'll find the sand is full of tracks. Proof that nature is always moving, even when it seems still. One local legend tells of the white fox, a spectral creature said to appear during full moons, guiding lost travelers back to safety. Some believe it's a spirit guardian of the land, others think it's a trick of the light. But ask any ranger who spent enough nights under the stars. They'll tell you they've seen something, even if they're not sure what. Visitors can hike, picnic, or sled down the dunes using waxed plastic discs. The park was originally declared a monument in 1933 and upgraded to national park status in 2019. And if you ever get the chance, stay for sunset or a full moon hike. The white sands glow with otherworldly light, making it one of the most surreal experiences you can have in the Southwest. Carlsbad Caverns National Park. From above, the desert looks plain. But underneath, that's where Carlsbad Caverns hides its magic. This national park features over 120 known caves formed not by flowing water, but by sulfuric acid dissolving limestone over millions of years. The result, enormous underground chambers filled with strange formations like stalactites, stalagmites, and delicate gypsum flowers. The big room, the park's main attraction, is enormous. About 1,219 meters, 4,000 feet long, and 78 meters, 255 feet, high at its tallest point. That's big enough to hold 6 football fields. And you don't need to rappel in. There's an elevator that drops you 230 meters, 750 feet, underground in just a few minutes. Discovered by a cowboy named Jim White in the 1890s, Carlsbad Caverns is a national park and UNESCO World Heritage Site. In summer, at dusk, you can watch thousands of Brazilian free-tailed bats fly out in a swirling cloud to hunt insects. A natural show you won't forget. The caves stay a constant 13 degrees Celsius, 56 degrees Fahrenheit, year-round, making it a great place to cool off, no matter the season. Some say the caves are home to spirits, echoes of ancient dwellers or nature gods that whisper through the tunnels. Rangers have reported sudden cold spots and strange noises when no one else was around. Visitors often leave feeling they've touched something deeper, something eternal hidden beneath the surface. Taos Pueblo. In northern New Mexico, just outside the town of Taos, sits a community frozen in time, Taos Pueblo. These adobe buildings, built from mud, straw, and water, have stood for over 1,000 years. With some rising up to 5 stories high, they form a striking profile against the backdrop of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. This isn't a replica or museum. Around 150 people still live here year-round, maintaining a traditional way of life without electricity or running water in the old village. The Pueblo has its own government, culture, and customs. Rooted in both ancient practices and resilience through centuries of colonial upheaval. fact, Taos was a key site in the 1680 Pueblo Revolt, where native groups temporarily pushed Spanish colonizers out of the region. Recognized as both a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a National Historic Landmark, Taos Pueblo is one of the oldest continually inhabited communities in the country. Visitors are welcome, but asked to be respectful. Photography and access are limited during religious ceremonies. What you'll find isn't a tourist attraction, but a living culture that continues to endure, adapt, and thrive. According to local oral tradition, the nearby Blue Lake is the sacred birthplace of the Taos people, a place so spiritually significant it was fought for and finally returned to the community in 1970. The lake is now off-limits to outsiders, a reminder that some wonders are not meant to be seen, but simply honored. Bandelier National Monument. Hidden among the canyons and mesas of northern New Mexico is Bandelier National Monument. A place where ancient people carved their homes into volcanic rock. These dwellings, built between the 11th and 15th centuries CE by the ancestral Puebloans, are etched directly into the soft, tough cliffs formed from compressed volcanic ash deposited by the massive Jemez Mountains eruptions over 1 million years ago. The site stretches over 33,000 acres and contains more than 1,000 archaeological sites, including multi-story cave dwellings, ceremonial kivas, petroglyphs, and masonry villages. The main loop trail leads you past homes still blackened from centuries of cooking fires, while ladders allow you to climb into alcove rooms used for sleeping and storage. It's like walking through a storybook of survival, ingenuity, and community life. Summers are hot here, often reaching 32 degrees Celsius, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. While winters bring snow and freezing temperatures. Pinon, pine and juniper dominate the landscape, and mule deer, coyotes and the occasional bobcat roam the hills. Today, the National Park Service manages Bandelier in close collaboration with neighboring pueblos to ensure traditions are respected and access is restricted during ceremonies. Local legend tells of a mysterious kiva buried deep within Frijoles Canyon, said to be where the spirits of the ancestors still gather on moonless nights. The story, passed down through generations, warns that those who approach without respect may hear whispers in a language no longer spoken, or feel sudden cold drafts that carry no wind. True or not, the atmosphere is thick with history. You feel watched, not by tourists, but by time itself. The Rio Grande Gorge. Carved deep into the high desert of northern New Mexico, the Rio Grande Gorge is a breathtaking canyon formed over millions of years by the flow of the Rio Grande River. At its deepest point, the gorge plunges about 240 meters, 800 feet, down into volcanic rock, revealing ancient basalt layers that tell the story of a rift valley still slowly pulling apart today. The river itself flows through the Rio Grande Rift, a geologic fault zone where tectonic plates are drifting apart at a rate of about 2.5 millimeters per year. That might not sound like much, but over millions of years, it's created one of the most dramatic landscapes in the state. The area is also rich in wildlife, from golden eagles and peregrine falcons to bighorn sheep that scale the cliffs with surprising ease. Atop the gorge sits the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge, one of the highest in the United States, rising 200 meters, 650 feet above the river. Built in 1965, it's become both an engineering marvel and a popular spot for photographers and sunset watchers. There are also trails that descend partway into the gorge, offering a more up-close look at this rugged terrain. Though hikers should come prepared, as there's little shade and no rescue services. A haunting tale surrounds the gorge. Some Pueblo elders speak of a place along the river known as the Siapu. An emergence hole believed to be where their ancestors first came into this world from an underworld below. Though no archaeological evidence has confirmed its location, hikers and rafters sometimes report strange echoes and movements along the canyon walls, especially at twilight. Whether it's myth or memory, the Rio Grande Gorge is a place that stirs something primal in the soul. New Mexico isn't just a destination, it's an experience. A place where the ground beneath your feet has stories to tell, where the silence of the desert is filled with meaning, and where the people and places leave a lasting imprint. If you enjoyed this video and want more journeys like it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an adventure.